You're tuned in to Voiced Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast, a forum where we discuss and explore society-based topics while advocating and providing information and resources to the community through an unscripted, unfiltered, and authentic approach. Listen on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. Watch us on YouTube. Join our Facebook group. Follow us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Voiced Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast, your society-based channel. Welcome to another episode of Voiced Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast. I'm your host, and my name is Danette Mahabeer-Turner, your Mrs. Kentucky Petite USA 2025. I'm super honored to be representing the state of Kentucky in a national pageant for the Petite USA organization this July in Chicago, Illinois. Before we get into today's episode, allow me to take the time out to highlight the sponsors. Our title sponsor, Goodwill Opportunity Center. Goodwill Opportunity Center helps individuals remove barriers to self-sufficiency, enabling their clients to overcome challenges and achieve their goals through support that's personalized to their clients' needs. Visit them today at 1601 Broadway Street, Paducah, Kentucky. Our episode sponsor, Muse Bloom, a dreamy little art boutique in Midtown Paducah, where handmade goods, vintage treasures, and lush plants come together in perfect harmony. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind gift or a little magic for your home, Muse Bloom is your new happy place. Visit them today, 2201 Broadway Street, Suite E, Paducah, Kentucky. You can watch Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast on YouTube. Listen on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. Join our Facebook group. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you, of course, it is episode 11, and our topic today, turning pain to purpose. Our special guest on the show today is none other than Logan Bryce, Champion Martin. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know that was a mouthful right there. I always tell my guests, before we get them into this. So I really greatly appreciate you for taking the time out today to be on Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast. And I know this is going to be a very deep topic. Yes. When you think about turning pain into purpose, and I'm sure, my listeners and, viewers will get so much insight from your story, and your nickname is Champion. Yes. Why Champion?
Well, it's not because of so many rewards, and of course I've had pretty much have obtained some awards being an athlete, playing football and things of that nature. But when I first got my first reality TV show opportunity, and I was supposed to name myself a particular character, and I did that. But when the individual saw me, she said, "No, that name doesn't befit you.
Wow.
You're a champion." And so that's where Champion came from. And I've kept that name ever since, I believe, 2009.
Wow.
So that's where Champion, and I'm that in general. I feel like that.
You lived it.
Yes, through the ups and downs, trials and errors. And, and I can look back and, now I'm literally like smiling because I've overcome.
Wow. So, yeah. And so you've lived a life, as you mentioned, many would dream of, athlete and actor and cultural icon. But you walked away from it all. What was the moment that made you choose purpose over popularity?
I was brought up a certain way in my household. My mother, we had two different religions in my home at the time. And so I was raised and reared a certain type of way, and so that my faith and that belief and that kind of had something to do with that as well. But I also saw the fakeness. I also saw that if I'm willing to sell my soul, pay a price just to have fame and fortune, the outcome is not going to be good later on down the road. I may be okay in the long run, in the process of the present, but later down the road, no. And so I decided not to do that. I had an opportunity to do that, but I felt like that was not the right choice for me. And so I walked away from fame. I walked away from fortune. Wow. I walked away from being the possibly next, could have been the next Billy D. Williams, as far as an actor, or I was in the era when Denzel was coming up and things of that nature. So I had an opportunity, but it's my gut. It just wasn't right for me, and I saw things that I just knew that that's not the way to get it. And so let me just say, hey, this ain't for me. And I walked away, and I was blackballed from that.
Wow.
Yeah, I was blackballed from that.
Wow.
Yeah.
and so we're gonna switch now. So growing up in a military family,
Yeah.
and moving often, how did that shape your identity and your ability to adapt to different environments?
Well, being a military brat, my father was in the army at the time in Germany, so I had dual citizenship with Germany and the U.S. Leaving from overseas is a very different cultural shock when coming to the U.S. Things are just different.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Overseas is different. U.S. is different. It's just different in general. But I believe that because we moved so many places and so many times, I didn't have the growing up childhood. I didn't have the stable friendship and childhood things of that nature. So I had to grow up pretty quick and pretty fast, being the oldest of 6 siblings now. And so doing that and sort of having to become the head of household at a very young age,
wow.
I had no other choice but to man up in some sort of way. And so I did what I felt was best. I didn't have the right proper reign and raising when it came to my father. So here you are, the oldest of 4 boys and 2 girls. Somebody's got to help mom out. So I couldn't go and hang out at friends' homes. I couldn't go out and just play.
You basically had to assume the position.
I had to go to work.
Right. Wow.
I had to go to work at 13 years old. I started at 8 or 9, mowing yards, raking leaves and things of that nature, shoveling snow to bring in some type of income. And so my first job was at 13 years old. So I didn't have that 13 summer childhood, let's go hang out at the park, let's go out of town and spring break. No, it was spring work.
Wow.
And but that made me.
It molded you.
It molded me. And then that's how I became who I am to this very day. So,
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so you experienced early success in sports, right?
Yes,
how did that world prepare you or not for the challenges that came after?
It did prepare me. When I played professional ball, I saw the fact that this is my way out to help my mother, help my family, help my siblings. But then when you do play and you go to the championship and you lose, it kind of discourages you because it's like, hold on, I went through all these trials and tribulations. I've gotten to one place to another, and I've achieved some things. It should be start to look up after a while, but some things are designed to give you a win and also discourage you in the same time. But also I had to realize it's not that, it's me, it's all in me. So I had to pull myself together, even though I was discouraged by the loss. Okay, there's another season. Okay, there's another opportunity. There's another door opening. So I had to think like that.
Change your mindset.
I had to, because if I started just dwelling on negativity and dwelling on what's success and what is not success, or what people like and what people don't like, then what would I actually be? So I've never been a people person pleaser rather.
Right.
Never been a people person pleaser, never. I had to make sure that I knew what was best for me.
I love that.
And because of that, with the help of the Lord and prayers and being just determined, I'm here to where I'm doing my thing today. So yeah, I mean, being an athlete was great. I loved it. I played many years. Took a very toll on my body, but I've never had any surgeries and never been hospitalized. So I've been blessed. So it has shaped me to be more stern about life and having a positive outlook as well.
Wow.
And because without any of those two things, you can't look to someone or something as far as what success looked like.
Right.
Success is in the individual that wants to achieve it. And that's the only goal and the only determination of a mindset. So
I love that.
That's kind of how it has to be.
That's very deep. Thank you so much for sharing. And so you've walked away from sin and even success, as you mentioned. And so what pain did you have to confront in that process, and how did it lead you to your purpose today?
Wow.
I'm getting deep. I know. I'm getting real deep.
Well, I mean, childhood can bring about a lot of trauma, a lot of disadvantage, a lot of disappointment, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of sad days. And not to make it sound so sad and deep, because all of us has a story.
Absolutely.
Never, nobody's story greater than the other. But we all, when I grew up, things was just rough. And so I had to not so much focus on what I was going through, because when I look back now, I don't even realize how we actually made it. That's the craziest part about it. How did we actually survive all of that when you look back at it, And I'm 49 years young rather. And it's like, how did I even get to this point?
Yes.
How did I survive this? And it was just simply that I was determined at the age, I believe I was standing in my mother's kitchen. I was about 14 years old, I believe. Was it 14? I believe I was 14. And I was washing dishes, and I had a desire I told myself I would be this multi-millionaire. At the time I was 19. That's a lie. 19 came, I was still not the multi-millionaire. And I was like, wow. So I was like, but something kept stirring in me, like, keep moving, keep doing it. I just had a desire to not continue the cycle that I was raised in, that I was brought up in. I had to not for my own, not for my because I have children.
Okay.
So not for them, but for myself. It was about me first,
totally.
Before they even came about. So I had to have a desire to just not repeat that cycle, not allow that to deter, not allow that to hinder me, but regardless, move forward, keep moving no matter what. And that's what really sustained me. I kept busy. I stayed busy no matter what. Yeah, people said, well, you're here, you're there, you're gone, you're this. But they didn't realize I had a plan. I've been called a dreamer. Well, I dream and reality happens.
Oh, that's good.
So,
yes.
Hey, am I still a dreamer? Or am I someone that
turn
makes
that dream into reality?
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's been names, and it's cool because I've overcame those things, and yet those people see that thing to this very day.
Absolutely.
So it's just been struggles that I had to deal with and overcome those things, and I did, and I worked hard to, no matter what was told to me, no matter what I was told that I wasn't gonna mount, I did it.
I love that.
Not because people to prove someone wrong, but to prove it to myself.
I love that.
That I had it within me, not what someone spoke over me or about me.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you should be proud of yourself.
I'm extremely proud of myself.
You should be, yes. From humble beginnings to,
Most definitely.
The journey. And as you said, you've created your own story.
Yes.
And this is definitely truly an inspiration.
Yes,
so thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
And, as we talk about that, society often glamorizes success, right? But rarely talks about what it costs. What did success look like for you before, and what does it look like for you now?
Success before was seemed promising because it's a picture painted so perfect.
Oh, yes.
So all this glamour, all of this, you're going to do this and you're going to be this and you're going to be that, and we're going to put you here and we're going to put you there, and you're seeing this and seeing that, and you're going here and you're going there, but it's all a vivid of imagination. It's a picture or a canvas that's being painted on a blank canvas. Someone is painting, somebody is giving you an illusion. And it's not what you really, behind the scenes is totally different than what you see in front of you. It's an illusion. So I walked away from the illusion because I realized I'm gonna pay a price later on down the road. And so I decided to say, if it's meant for me, it will happen, but it would happen on my watch and on my terms. And so success at that time looked good, but it wasn't good. Because had I did that, I would probably be to this very day caught up in some scandal, to be realistic with you, because that's just what happens.
The price to pay is way bigger than
yes. And we have to stop this foolishness or these
glamorizing it,
yes, we gotta.
success.
Let's be real about it. Life is real. It's. There's no. I don't understand how people cannot separate from reality and fakeness. I mean, you just can't get caught up into that. So success looked promising then, but I felt in my gut that just wasn't it. I felt that I was being pulled or tricked into something, which I was, and I had the crossroads of, do I want to do this so that my mom can live good, so my mom can have things, so my siblings can be living better? But if I do this, at what cost? So I had to make the sacrifice to not to do it, and so I walked away from what could have been possibly looked like success, but it really wasn't. Success now is because I made that. Because sometimes you have to walk away. I think Fantasia says it best. Sometimes you have to lose to win again. So I lost on the front end, but I'm winning on the back end. Big time.
Wow, that's deep.
Big time.
You're giving me chills.
Big time.
Yes.
I'm winning big time. Ain't no stopping me from it at this point.
Wow.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. So if you're in my way, adios amigos. I'm good.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And so for those who are listening right now and watching this episode and maybe struggling silently, maybe it's their identity. It could be, loss of a loved one or even addiction, just whatever they're going through right now. What was your turning point and how can they find theirs?
My turning point was accepting the facts. I didn't ask to come here. I was brought here. And when I say brought here, meaning my mother and father laid down and had me. So it wasn't my fault that things transpired. So what I had to do is let that go. And I know people say, go to counseling and things of that nature. Sometimes you just gotta go someplace and just find yourself. Get in tune with who you are as a person. And I had to realize, I said, because I contemplated suicide, don't get me wrong. I contemplated suicide. I mean, it's normal to think suicidal. It's abnormal to do it, but it's normal to think it. Because everybody's trying it, that's down, that's in a run, or that's having a bad situation, they're looking for a way out. And that's not the way out.
Right,
and I knew that wasn't the way out. And at those lowest points of my life, I had to think about, I have to have purpose. I have to have destiny. I mean, it's just not a coincidence that when my father got with my mother and they conceived me, there's billions of sperm cells that swim to the egg. How is it that I was the only one out of those billions or trillions to get to that egg? So if I was to get to the egg and I came forth, there's a purpose and destiny for my life. And I had to think that, and I had to believe that. And that was my turning point.
Wow.
Because there's no way it's just a coincidence that me and anyone else is just here on the planet. You're here for a reason and a purpose, but you have to know and take the time to tap into who is thyself. And once you do that,
turning back.
There's no turning back. There's no turning back, And what was the second question? I'm sorry.
No, you were just saying, how can they tap into theirs? And which is what you're answering right now, from your own journey.
You have to get into who you are. You got to know who you are. You can't let people, you can't let things, you can't let situations. And honestly, second of all, for someone that's actually going through some things, first thing I would tell them, reach out to me. I'm open. I'm an open book. If you're genuine, you're serious, you're transparent, I'm here to talk to you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to try to do as much as I can. I think talking is one of the best way of medicine, I guess you could say, for the healing of the mind or the heart or the soul. Meaning when I say talking, meaning sometimes people just have to want to be heard, or people just want you to be real and genuine with them. And that's kind of been my life. That's been how I am with people, and that's how I kind of center myself around people as such. And so that's kind of where I'm at to this very day.
I love that. I love that. And so, what does purpose mean to you? You talk a lot about finding your purpose, but what does it mean to you? And how do you see it changing lives? Of course, not just your life, but those you speak to and mentor.
Purpose is what you make it as an individual. We all are individuals. We're all made different. We're all, as some would say, I'm cut from a different cloth, which I believe I am.
Mm-hmm.
And they say they don't make that type of cloth anymore. And that's true. I own it. But purpose is something that's put in every individual on this planet. You have a will to do, and you have a will to not to do. It's just a matter. It's just a matter. Do you really want to do what it takes? A lot of us wanted the easy way. A lot of us wanted the hand me way. Doesn't work anyway like that. You as a person has to know who you are. What are your purpose? What is your point? What is your reason of being here on this planet? Once you tap into that, then you can pursue any dream, any goals, any purpose as you choose. But it's the determination of the individual. It is just the determination of the individual.
Love that. And so your story has inspired people across different platforms. How do you balance the call to minister with the realities of today's culture? Now I'm getting into the cultural aspect of, of things here.
Ministry, I believe I was ordained back in 2001.
Congratulations.
Ministry came because I grew up in a culture of religion and church. And so I was ordained as such. I like that because I went to school to study different religions and things like that. I'm fascinated about religion in general.
Okay.
All different types of religion. And I want to know why we're so different,
totally.
but we're not. But anyway, that's a whole different...
A different episode.
Yeah, there you go. Ministry, when I got called into ministry and what it relates to from at 21 to now 25 is totally different. 21, it was based on my upbringing. It was based on how I was reared and how I was to copycat, how I was to do what they did and continue the process. Yes.
The traditional.
And yes, and that was just a hindrance of people in general. So I resigned from ministry. I walked away from ministry. I became a minister, an ordained elder, became an assistant pastor, then a senior pastor. I walked away from it all because of the culture, of that culture at that time, because that culture was just wrong. It was just, I was just repeating the process or cycle that helped none of us, no one, no members, no individual, not even myself. And I woke up and realized that, and I resigned immediately. It was a big ordeal, but anyway, that's a whole different segment. 25, now in 2025, ministry is based on, I think everything that I do is ministry. Not related to the church, but yes, related to the church. But when I say everything I do, meaning whoever I meet, I'm ministering to them in some shape, form, or fashion. See, ministry is not just a church word.
Oh, absolutely not.
Ministry is any and everything. When you meet someone on the street, when you meet someone at the gas station, meet someone at the grocery store.
It's outside the four walls. It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
And that's me. I'm not surrounded by four walls in a steeple. I'm outside of that. I'm outside the box. I think outside of the box. And I relate to now, the culture now, I'm able to tap into them because I'm not so churchy. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
I'm not so religious and denominational. I'm not with all of that. It's just simply just being who you are as a real person, because people see who you are. You don't have to put on a front. You don't have to put on a pizzazz. People know your heart. If an average person that never met you and they can see, it's the aura, it's the spirit. And so when people see me, I'm just who I am, like I am now. This is not a fake. This is anybody that knows me.
Man in pink. If you're listening, by the way, he's wearing pink. And if you're watching, you're seeing that. Real man.
Yeah, real man wear pink. You know what I'm saying? So yes, and but yeah, when people see me, they see this is what they get, and I'm genuine from the heart, so I'm able to reach those that
absolutely.
that don't look like me, that don't act like me, that doesn't talk like me, has no ambitions like me. So I'm able to reach male and female. I mentor now a couple of young boys that are like 11 years old, 9 years old, troubled little kids. But that's because they kind of grew up like I grew up, so I can relate. And I relate to them on their level, but they understand me on my level. You understand? Because I have to bring them up.
Right.
You can't just because you're that age stay at that level. You have to come up. And so, I just as far as the culture here now in 2025, it's just I'm able to grasp and get an understanding what they're feeling, and I can relate to some of the pain that's going on now in today's culture across the board, politically, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a single parent home or two parent home, doesn't matter. I can relate on every level and because I've experienced all of that, So am I able to tap into that? Yes. I'm able to tap into that culturally now, and not only that, but minister in the same process, and throw a little Jesus in there.
Oh yes, I love that. Now that leads me to my next question with you. So, what role do you believe men, especially Black men, should play in shifting culture toward healing, mentorship, and purpose?
Realistically, if we want to speak about me as a Black man and the Black man in general, we have to, first of all, wake up. We have to wake up. We cannot continue to live off or relive the past. And when I say past, I'm talking about all the generational foolishness that was nailed down or given to us as a whatever. I don't know, but it's not been a help, it's been a hindrance. And that's been from religion to an average blue collar working individual. We have to break the stigma. We have to break the stigma of what we've been taught and what we actually know. And we have to wake up. The time is now for us to wake up, get our stuff together, and start believing what is true and stop living this falsehood of what we've been taught as a child.
They always say, you learn things, but then you also have to unlearn.
You have to. And and the sad part about it, and just in general, Black men or white men, brown men, it doesn't matter. We don't want to relearn anything.
That's deep.
We want to keep it the way it is and expect life to just be easy peasy. But no, it doesn't work like that. If you're a man, you got to, as they say, get your weight up, get yourself together, quit this foolishness, quit thinking what the norm is doing, quit thinking what the culture is doing, because technically we're only just doing a recycle. It's almost like a washing machine. You put it on, wash it, wash. You put it on, rinse it, rinse. You do the same thing. You don't do nothing different. You just put it in the wash. It's just going to go through the process. It's going to go through the cycle. Now, if you put it in there and you want something done different, you got to put it on there. It ain't going to do it on its own. So you have to think. We got to start thinking. We got to, we got to rewire our mindset.
I love that.
Only way we're going to do that is somebody has to take charge. And it's so many weak men nowadays. So many weak men in general. And it's sad, but that's just the culture, because we have adapted, or we have allowed culture to make us or define us to be as such. But when we stand up, take a stance for what we really know, because we know better. We know better, but we choose. It's a choice. Everything I did was a choice. I knew not to do it. I was raised to not do it. Did it anyway. It's a choice.
Right.
So no, it's there's no, I fell from, no, you didn't fall. You chose to fall. You don't have to fall. You chose to fall.
I love that. It's a choice.
But it's okay to fall. It's okay to make mistakes. I'm okay with that. What you gonna do after the fact? You're gonna dust yourself off and keep moving? You gonna keep going? That's what you should do. And us as Black men, we have to start doing what we need to do as far as the community. I don't like what I see across the board, and regardless, take the color out of it. Across the board, I don't like it. We have to do a lot of things in general. We have to come together. I'm all about unification. I'm all about unity. I'm all about togetherness. I'm not with that foolishness. I'm not with this one group, this group, that. I'm not with that way, this way. I'm straight down the middle. If you come holler at me. You can't. If you ain't with that, bye-bye.
I love that. Thank you so much. Now, here's another question for you. Do you think society offers enough second chances to those who fall from grace, or is redemption something we have to fight for? And I know you talk about, we cannot be, men, especially, you can't be victims. And just, this question is for everyone. But do you think that society provides that grace when you fall? You mentioned, you can fall. And you also mentioned that, hey, you have a responsibility. So is it either or is it a combination of both?
I mean, does it really matter if society cares if you fall from grace or not? Does it really matter? It really doesn't. Because at the end of the day, this day too shall pass, no matter what you do, right? Mm-hmm. If you fall, you just fall. The sad part about it is you should be old enough and wise enough not to. And if you do fall from grace, society has their choice. Again, I'm not a people pleaser, but I don't do anything to fall from grace, so it doesn't matter to me. We're not talking about me.
So your mindset is totally different.
Exactly.
Right.
But if you were to fall from grace, society nowadays, culture-wise, all they know is to condemn. Back in the day, yeah, there was some grace, there was some mercy. Now it's like once you fall,
you mess up,
it's like almost a damnation.
And especially if you're depending on it, you're depending on their grace to determine where you're going to be.
Yeah,
you're going to be doomed.
Exactly. So again, you just have to mature. Mm-hmm. You just need to mature. I mean, society is what it is. Mm-hmm. We can't change the mindsets of people as a whole. We can't change their hearts. We can't change some of their ways. Everybody has to make that choice for themselves. And redemption is a must. Not for society, though. It's for yourself. Redemption is for yourself. Just like forgiveness. Forgiveness ain't for me to come to you and say, will you forgive me? Mm-hmm. No, forgiveness is for me. I don't have to get a forgiveness from you. I don't have to get I apologize. Oh, I'm sorry from you. I don't have to. As long as I forgive myself, as long as I make the amends and an atonement for what me and what I did and said, and that's all that matters, because I think that's what the good Lord sees. That's what He hears. And when we say redemption, that's a must.
Redemption is resilience.
Yes, you must be redeemed.
Yes.
By any means necessary. And so redemption, you have to have that. You have to. You must. You won't. You should have that. That should be just about in everybody's everyday. If it's a model, then that's what should be. The day is redemption. Every single day.
I love that.
Every single day.
Wow. That's deep. That's deep. And so before you go, if a young person is listening right now or watching, and they're at the edge of giving up, what would you say to them about pain and purpose?
Wow. Well, it's tough when you're young. It's tough when you're going through pain, situations, and it seems like nobody's there. It's real tough being young. I went through my phase, and I believe that if you truly want to have something in life, you want to be someone in life, I would say first and foremost, find a way or find a source that will help you to get to a place where you are independently, not relying on someone else, but independently relying on your own self, your own source, who you are as an individual. And talking is therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk, you cannot be, you have to be transparent. Because if you don't be transparent, then you're not helping yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like a therapy and a healing process, because when I became transparent who I am and things that happened and things I was part of, that became a healing for me. And that made me better. That's what it takes. You don't have to give up, because life is not designed to give up. If it was that easy, we would just simply all just clunk out when we wanted to. I mean, that's just if we could. But we're not designed to give up. We're humans. Humans don't give up. We fight. The world does not exist. It didn't get this far, from AD or BC to AD to now, So we fought to get to where we at. And you have to fight. You have to fight as an individual, as a person. You have to fight for what you want. You have to fight for what you want to be and who you want to become, despite what it is. So what? People don't like you. So what? People talk about you. So what? You don't have everything. So what? You going without. I went without. I survived. I made it. Yeah, I didn't have everything. You do what you got. You do what you have. And try to surround yourself around positive people, genuine people, real, authentic people, because everybody is not your friend. Everybody is not your buddy. There's some people that just likes to have you around for their comfort because they're going through, and you're their source and you don't even realize it, but they're draining you and not pouring nothing into you. So you have to surround yourself around good people, good, positive people. And again, if nothing else, if all that doesn't work out, please call me. You can call me personally. I'm available 24/7. Call me, leave me a message. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm not hard to find. I'm real easy to reachable.
Well, before you go, we'll have you tell them how they can reach you, whether it's Facebook or social media, just however they can reach out to you. Just not if they're just going through anything, but if there's someone else out there and they'd like, to have you on their show, or, just wanting to reach out to you in general to learn more about your journey, how can they reach out to you?
Well, they can contact me through Michael, which is my manager.
Okay.
And he's listed on social media. He's listed on Instagram, Facebook. So reach out to him and you'll be able to leave a message or make a contact with me.
All right. So all public relations go through manager Michael. And I want to thank you so much again for joining me and taking the time out to be on today's show. Yes, sir. Sure. We've learned a lot from you and truly insightful. So we wish you all the best on your journey, and we'll invite you back maybe in the future after.
Sure.
There's a lot more that you're going to be doing, and we haven't gotten into that, but once that comes out, we'll be in touch. And great. Before we go, I want to highlight the sponsors once again. Our title sponsor, Goodwill Opportunity Center. They help individuals remove barriers to self-sufficiency, enabling their clients to overcome challenges and achieve their goals through support that's personalized to the client's needs. Visit them at 1601 Broadway Street, Paducah, Kentucky. Our episode sponsor is Muse Bloom, a dreamy little art boutique in Midtown Paducah, Kentucky, where handmade goods and vintage treasures, lush plants all come together in perfect harmony. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind gift or a little magic for your home, Muse Bloom is your new happy place. Visit them today, 2201 Broadway Street, Suite E, Paducah, Kentucky. I have been your host. My name is Danette Mahabeer-Turner, and we'll see you on the next episode. God bless.